Johto's gym leaders are generally considered to be among the weakest in the entire history of Pokemon. But maybe, just maybe, if they were given the opportunity to compete for a championship in the iconic Indigo League, then they could bring out their best and achieve the impossible. But what if I could actually test this theory? Today, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm giving Johto's gym leaders the chance to rise above the Indigo League and claim the title of champion, and maybe an even higher title as well. This challenge was fun in Hoenn and Sinnoh, and both experiences were full of chaos. But this iteration? Well, you'll just have to see it to believe it. This is the Great Johto Gym Leader Challenge. The challenge is simple. Each Johto gym leader will face Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver's Elite Four with the goal of defeating Lance and entering the Hall of Fame, thus becoming champion of the Johto and Kanto regions. Now, there's only one person who could defeat Lance with a Pidgey and Pidgeotto, and LeBron James is not walking through that door. So to give each leader a team capable of competing, I will be using their post-game rematch teams from Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver. Movesets, abilities, and held items must remain as they appear on these teams. Ultimately, the goal is to build teams that are as authentic to each leader as possible, while still giving them the best chance to go all the way. However, these are the best rematch teams yet, improving further on the moveset prowess from Platinum while returning to the full roster size of 6 from Emerald. So to better match this power, I will be fighting HeartGold and SoulSilver's revamped post-game Elite Four, which drastically improves the Indigo League teams from the main game, adding more Pokemon, replacing weaker ones, and building movesets that are more befitting of Pokemon's best trainers. So if these Johto gym leaders want to become champion, they will have to earn it. I considered using a grading system like Adef does in his Victory Road Trainer videos, since I love those videos and they've served as a major inspiration in how I've gone about presenting this challenge, but ultimately, you either become champion or you do not. There is no try. There are a few more important notes on screen now regarding how I went about building these teams, with the most important probably being my banning of damage calcs, as well as the fact that I will be matching my Pokemon's levels to that of each league member's ace as we progress. This is a slight modification of my previous iterations of this challenge, with the hope of better balancing the battles. Oh, and the zipper on my bag is broken, so I can't use items in battle. Just a fun little extra wrinkle. With all that out of the way, let's get into the challenge. Falkner, aka the Bronny James of Johto, is known for being one of the weakest gym leaders of all time. Piloting a team consisting of a Pidgey and, get this, a Pidgeotto, I can't help but wonder if Falkner has even ever talked to his father. As we know, communication in the cockpit is key to aviation safety, so I hope they've been working on their roleplays. Forgive me for acting like First Officer Blunt, but comparing Falkner to Bronny is quite insulting to the heir to the James throne. But what if I told you that his rematch team in Pokemon HeartGold SoulSilver is one of the best gym leader teams I've ever seen? You're going to want to act like Captain All-Ears for this one. Faulkner's father must have finally given him his real team because good golly gee. Staraptor with his signature close combat Brave Bird combo buoyed by U-turn and Attract, Honchkrow with Sucker Punch and Thunder Wave, Pelipper to help with the team's Ice Weakness, and oh my Arceus, Guts, Facade, Swellow?
Hey LeBron, Ben Simmons is here. We're all good.
The Guts ability raises a Pokemon's attack by 50% when inflicted by a major status condition, and Facade is a move that doubles in power if the user is burned, poisoned, or paralyzed. This combination is potent, and even more so on a fast normal type like Swellow, who takes advantage of Stab for even more power. There's just one problem. How am I going to status my Swellow? Well, look no further than his held item, the Flame Orb. This item pairs perfectly with Protect, meaning we'll be off to the races after just one turn. With the duo of Staraptor and Swellow, we should be soaring into the Hall of Fame in no time. But let's see who we're up against before getting too far ahead of ourselves. Taking a look at Will, he has a very solid squad for being the first Elite Four member. Bronzong threatens to protect against his team's questionable physical defense with Reflect, Jinx and Gardevoir will hit hard, and if I'm not careful, Slowbro will set up Curses and Amnesias to become an impenetrable wall. The best answer I have to the Psychic type is Honchkrow, so he's my opener. Thunder Wave puts me in an early lead, and Dark Pulse plays around Reflect, boosting Will's physical defense. In the end, Honchkrow wins this 1v1 as Reflect goes down, paving the way for a KO chain with Sucker Punch into Jinx and Night Slash into Grumpig. Another Sucker Punch is solid into Gardevoir, but the Hoenn Icon hits a Focus Blast, sending Honchkrow back to the bench. So let's see Swellow in action, shall we? Protect puts the burn online, and we proceed to Facade through the rest of Will's team. After just one battle, I'm already feeling the power of Falconer's squad. Pure hyper offense coursing through my veins. Koga, on the other hand, brings a flurry of finesse to the table. Swalot with Amnesia, Pain Split, and Yawn, Venomoth with Double Team and Baton Pass, Skuntank and Crobat with Toxic, and last but certainly not least, Muck with Minimize, Screech, Swagger, and Toxic. That's right, Koga's ace doesn't even have a damage-dealing attack. And yet, without any way to play around Poison, I'm required to build my entire plan around the Toxic Sludge. Despite having Explosion, Skuntank isn't that menacing of a lead. I start with Swellow, Protect to set up Guts, and I get Sucker Punched before KOing. In addition to the aftermath damage following the Facade KO, my bird doesn't have much left in the tank, but he does have just enough to knock out Toxicroak. By choosing Honchkrow as my next Pokemon, I bait out Swalot. I can't say I love the fact that Night Slash does only about 30% since I'm likely to put the poison back into prime full restore range, but never in doubt, baby. Big Crow gets a T-Wave off onto Crobat before falling, paving the way for Staraptor to sweep through Koga's final 3. That's right, back-to-back fights with a mini sweep to score the win. And well, I wouldn't bet on Bruno putting up much more of a fight. See what I did there? Fight, because Bruno uses fighting types, and the first 5 letters of fighting make up the word fight. See? You get it, right? You get it? Bruno's team is built in a bit of a weird way. If you have a fighting weakness, you'll probably struggle, but if you don't, he doesn't have enough type coverage to be more than a minor roadblock on the way to Karen. And if you have a type advantage, well, it might look like Super Bowl 48. Sporting Bronco Orange, Bruno is target practice for my Hawks. Swellow gets the party started against Hitmontop, and Staraptor takes KOs on Machamp and Hitmonlee. Wanting to save my Raptor to beat up Lucario and Hariyama, Noctowl makes his debut, KOing Bruno's final Hitmon Pokemon. I figure I may as well give Pelipper a shot, and the mailman delivers. With a little help from Bruno, who clicks counter on Hidden Power Fighting into an Iron Tail miss, Big Toilet flushes Lucario down the drain. Thanks to my earlier decision to save Staraptor, Hariyama is a piece of cake, landing us in the room of the final Elite Four member, Karen. I would say her team is definitely the best one yet. She has a handful of menacing threats, none more worrisome than her ace, Umbreon. Similar to Will's Slowbro, Umbreon can utilize Curse to become a massive wall. But the evolution is even scarier with Stab Payback, a move that doubles in power if the user was attacked first. With Curse lowering speed, this move is almost guaranteed to get that boost. In every single Karen plan I have for this challenge, Umbreon is a demon. For the 3rd straight battle, Swellow leads off. This time he is the only Pokemon I have who possesses the speed required to get ahead of Karen's lead Weavile. And of course, Facade disposes of the Sharp-Clawed icon, as well as the Dark Bird to follow. But with Spiritomb entering the fight, we have a bit of a problem. A quick look at Swellow's moveset reveals that this normal type only has normal type attacks. Well, even Achilles has a weakness. I start with Noctowl to chip down the Spirit, but she chips herself with Curse. I'll take it. My Raptor continues to show why he's a star, knocking out Spiritomb and Honchkrow, leaving Karen with no choice but to bring out the big guns. Umbreon is quite bulky, so a single non-stab close combat is unlikely to KO. Not to mention the fact that I would find myself at -2 defense and very susceptible to payback. Instead, the play is to chip the evolution as much as possible to bring Staraptor back in for the finish. U-turn does a good bit as I swap to Pidgeot on the payback, which is a much better outcome than Curse. I get some nice chippage in with a couple of returns, and it turns out to be just enough for Staraptor. And Absol? Barbecue chicken. Without breaking a single sweat, Falconer's team finds itself on the doorstep of greatness, but Lance will provide the toughest challenge yet. At just a single glance, you understand how powerful his squad is. However, there's no reason to believe that Falconer cannot get the job done. Past Drew, take it away. We lead off, and we click Tailwind. Hopefully this does less than half. That'd be ideal. That's very ideal. I don't know if Ice Beam KOs. It's non-stab. It's not like Pelipper is a particularly powerful Pokemon. But I'm hoping. I'm hoping. Show me the Oko. Big Toilet, baby. And now we have Gyarados coming in, and I'm faster because of Tailwind. I think my biggest concern here is that it's very, very likely, it feels like, to click Thunder Wave. My best move is probably Ice Beam because I can maybe pull a Freeze. So that's what I'm going to go with. Surf is probably more damage. That's got to be a critical hit. Wow. Okay, there's the T-Wave. It should be fine. I still go Swallow. Now, I think the biggest concern would be as I protect here, it sets up Dragon Dance. But I kind of need the pre-burn online to feel confident that this KOs. Nice, nice, okay. No Dragon Dances is so unbelievably huge. And also, no heals is so unbelievably huge. 2 down, baby. I don't know how much Facade does here. I'm going to be totally honest. But we've gotten this far. I think we just got to run it up. I think we just got to run it up. That was close. That was pretty close. Is this going to KO me? Probably. Swellow's not the bulkiest mon in the world. Thank you for your service, my friend. My biggest concern now is that we're going to see a heal, which is not ideal. And that rhymed. And I don't know about that how I feel. I have no idea how much damage return will do. Okay, nice, no heal. Let's go. Let's go. We're halfway there. Dragonite is fairly scary. I think I like Swagger first. Get it confused. Can help me out a little bit with some damaging of itself. Now I double team. This is playing out so incredibly well. I double team again. I keep clicking double team. This fight is too hard to leave anything to chance. I could click return here. Okay, there it snaps out of confusion. Somehow hits a Fire Blast. Somehow. Okay. That's not going to do that much, is it? Yeah, wow, okay. +3 evasion. No shame. I got no shame. Faulkner wouldn't have shame. He'd want me to do this. Alright, we're 0 for 2 on dodging hits. This, of course, is going to lower special attack. If I live this, I'm in a great spot. So it's like that, huh? It's like that. Okay, Lance. Okay. That changes the outlook of this fight. Okay, it's going to be at -4. Unfortunately, Honchkrow doesn't have any ability to heal up. Still, okay. That's a throw, a little bit. Okay, now... That's okay, that's tough. Maybe Honchkrow wasn't the play. Maybe Honchkrow was not the play. Okay, it's at -6. It's at -6 at this point. Here's what we're gonna hit this Night Slash. We're gonna see the Citrus proc. I'm gonna switch to Noctowl immediately. I think we go Shadow Ball. We're gonna be slower, so we may as well try to pull a couple Spadef drops. That wouldn't be terrible. Obviously, it's non-stab, but I think the idea here at this point is we just have to pray we don't get crit again. That did an unbelievable amount of damage. Here comes the Hyper Beam. Okay. So we're going to get a free turn next time. We're going to use the opportunity to Roost. No shot, dude. No shot! Oh my... Alright, well we can Paralyze now, if that even matters. I can't. I can't even. We're gonna need some crits. Full Restore is gonna become very likely. Okay, we might get past this guy. We're still in this. I would say at this point, we're very clearly gonna give Faulkner a second chance if this does not go my way here at the end, but we'll see. I think we Sucker Punch every time here. There's no way, obviously, I'm living a hit. I really want to see Hyper Beam. That's a crit. That's not even a crit. Wow. Wait a second. Okay. This is not over. All right, we always Brave Bird here. It's the only move I really can use. And then also, because I did so much chip damage, this is not going to do that much in recoil. Nice crit. It's probably going to come down to this. Is Altaria going to click Dragon Breath here? If it's Dragon Breath and it hits the paralysis, I think I lose. Hyper Beam, I probably live and I win. We have to Brave Bird. Okay. It's going to come down to the wire. This is at least doing half. That's good damage. Okay. Double team. Okay. That's high risk, high reward. Let's go. That was, hands down, one of the most dominant performances we've seen in the Gym Leader Challenge thus far. Swellow and Staraptor were every bit as good as advertised, and the supporting pieces showed out too. The hyper-offensive meta is alive and well. Congratulations to Faulkner and his birds for being the first team in the Johto Gym Leader Challenge to reach the Hall of Fame.
Finally, I'm a beautiful butterfly!
To call Bugs the stars of the Pokemon battling scene would be like calling the Washington Wizards the stars of the NBA. And yet, I can't help but have a soft spot for both groups. What can I say? I like what I saw out of their young core last season. Though, CJ McCollum, I have many bones to pick with you. I miss you, Drew Holiday. And Bugsy, dare I say he's built a bodacious bundle of bugs. It honestly doesn't get much better than Scizor, Heracross, and Yanmega in Gen 4, and each of them have very solid movesets. Scizor specifically is the standout. Setup strategies are very overpowered if you utilize them at the right time, and this challenge will provide plenty of opportunities for the Pinsir Pokemon, not to be confused with Pinsir, the Stag Beetle Pokemon, to pop off. For example, but Bruno will be a little different. Like I discussed earlier, Bruno struggles when the type matchup isn't in his favor. Well, it certainly isn't in this matchup, but it's not exactly in mine either. With fighting and bug resisting one another, this is bound to be a bit of a rock fight. Opening with Yanmega, Bruno's top and Lee simply stand no chance, but Machamp stands tall. Looking at his moveset, you may be questioning the Dynamic Punch plus Stone Edge combo. Despite their respective power and devastating secondary effects, both moves are very inaccurate, but that's where Machamp's ability comes into play. No Guard ensures that both moves will always hit, and while most of my team resists Dynamic Punch, the same is not true of Stone Edge, only being reduced to neutral damage by Heracross and Scizor. My options are therefore very limited. Unfortunately, despite being one of my better ones, Yanmega is too low on HP to help out. Oh, I get bullet punched. Tough. Okay. That's... It's too free. It's too free. I stand corrected. That Air Slash sets the stage for Scizor. Bullet punching through Machamp and Hitmonchan, Bruno finally brings in Lucario. But what Bruno has failed to realize is that my ace knows superpower. So, as quickly as he said hello, Lucario says goodnight. Sleep well, my sweet prince. Scizor doesn't have quite enough left in the tank to finish things off, so Pinsir slowly whittles down Hariyama with Earthquakes instead. Bugs greater than Bruno. As for Karen, the plan for her is a lot more straightforward given Bugsy's stronger offensive positioning into her dark types. For example, I lead Scizor, I click Bullet Punch, I crit, I KO. Like I said, simple. Houndoom? Not so simple. Obviously I want to save Scizor for later, so enter Vespiquen. I want to be clear, I actually really like Vespiquen. It has a cool design as well as some fun signature moves. However, she's also by far the weakest Pokemon on Bugsy's team. Thus, I use her as an intentional sacrifice to bring in Heracross for free. I feel there is a good chance Houndoom will click Nasty Plot, and I'm right. This read paves the way for a close combat Oko. The Beetle's close combat into Honchkrow almost picks up a second knockout, but not quite. Yanmega finishes the job in her place. Karen's incoming Spiritomb is annoying for sure, though you wouldn't know that by the way Yanmega buzzes the forbidden Pokemon back to the Shadow Realm. Unfortunately though, it's just a matter of time until that Confuse Ray Spiritomb got off before falling, rears its ugly head, leading to Yanmega's demise against Karen's ace. 3 straight self-hits aren't exactly my idea of a good time, but you know what is? Scizor snapping out at just the right moment to slice and dice Umbreon and Absol. Admittedly, I expected Bugsy to get here, but I don't know exactly what to expect against Lance. However, I have one trick up my sleeve that I have yet to reveal. Shedinja. With the Wonder Guard ability, this little ninja who could can stand up to Gyarados, Altaria, and perhaps most importantly, Garchomp. So if I manage to KO Salamence, Charizard, and Dragonite with everyone else, Bugsy might just find himself in the Hall of Fame. I'm leading with Pinsir. Here's why. Salamence is really fast. I have Rock Tomb. I can actually lower this guy's speed, and if I hit it, I can probably outspeed with just about anybody on this team. Maybe with the exception, I guess, of like Vespiquen. But obviously Rock Tomb could miss. Flamethrower could crit. Flamethrower might just KO, but I'm betting on it being non-stab. Pinsir. Okay, we hold. And we hit the Rock Tomb. All right, we are off to a perfect start. I'm now faster. Now you can tell, though, that I don't do much damage. So then, you might be asking, what's the plan? Well, there's a little move in the bottom right here called Guillotine. It is a one-hit KO move, 30 accuracy. If I hit it, maybe we have a chance. If I don't, I'm still going to be able to get past Salamence at least. Pinsir. Ah, we missed it. Okay. That was worth a shot in my opinion. I still have Heracross coming in here with Stone Edge. Of course I have to hit it, and I do. All right, so we've hit the two most important moves of this fight so far, and even though Guillotine missed, Pinsir was cooked. I needed the free switch. And now we see Charizard. So there is no chance I sack anybody other than Vespiquen. I hate doing this, okay? I hate doing this. But it's only attacking moves attack order. And now we're gonna go Yanmega, and the play here is simple. Pray that Ancient Power is able to one-hit KO. I don't know if it never KOs. I don't know if it sometimes KOs. I don't know if it always KOs. We're about to find out. All right. Well, it at least sometimes OHKOs, and now if we can just get Dragonite out, we are in position to win. It could click right. Okay, there we go. I was wondering about that. Here's Dragonite. That's fine. Now we're gonna see Fire Blast. It's not that I love having to do this, it's that Heracross and Yanmega actually have moves that can deal real damage to this, super effective rock moves. Scizor just has Bullet Punch. I'm gonna go Yanmega. I might outspeed. I do outspeed. Huge, huge. I don't think this is gonna OHKO by any means. We're gonna see Citrus Berry. That did not do a ton of damage, to be honest. I wish that did a little bit more. But we could see Fire Blast miss. That'd be very nice. Okay. Lance might just never miss Fire Blast today, and that's okay. You know what? That's okay. He needs something, right? That's a lot of damage. Is that a crit? That's not a crit. Okay. It's going to come down, because by getting this Ancient Power off, what it sets up is I need to get either... okay. I need to hit Stone Edge with Heracross. There's one major concern remaining, and that's that Altaria has Perish Song. So it can't just have Shedinja in there and get Perish Songed because I'll lose. So I need Heracross to survive this matchup. I'm faster, and we hit the Stone Edge. Let's go. Okay. Heracross comes up clutch, and I think that's a win con. And just like that, Lance is cooked. Shedinja stands in front of Lance's giant dragons and watches them get nothing more than some good cardio in. And that's all she wrote. From underdogs to top dogs of the Indigo League, Bugsy and his bugs are HeartGold SoulSilver champions. It just goes to show that any type, with the right team building and strategies, has what it takes to reach greatness.
Randall, there is a cow outside.
25 years ago, a beast was unleashed on this world that was so demonic, so evil, that the only explanation for its existence was that we as humans were experiencing cruel punishment for failing our universe. No, I'm not talking about Tyranitar or Ho-Oh or even the number 2000. I'm talking about Whitney's Miltank. Those who encountered this creature in their youth will never forget. But today, I get to wield the power of the great beast for myself. Whitney's team, to be totally honest, doesn't hold a candle to the two previous gym leaders. If Miltank is LeBron, then she is surrounded by the 2018 Cavaliers. However, if the King was able to drag that team to the NBA Finals, granted through a weak Eastern Conference whose best competitor was a Boston Celtics team led by rookie Jason Tatum and second-year Jaylen Brown, but I digress, then this cow surely can drag this squad all the way to the Hall of Fame. And let me just tell you, if she does, this will go down as the craziest run in Gym Leader Challenge history. From the opening moments against Will, I can already tell I'm in for a long ride. My best lead is Delcatty. Yeah. The feline is my choice here for one reason. Baton Pass. By setting up Calm Minds, I can baton pass the special attack and special defense boosts into a better teammate and go to work. The teammate in this case? Licky Licky. Yup, Licky Licky. With a few flamethrowers, she breaks through Bronzong, but now we have to deal with the specially bulky Gardevoir. Not seeing a KO, she clicks Calm Mind, and the big licker does shockingly little with Thunderbolt. I'll say it, not in love with this start. You know what though? Let's give Miltank a look. Body Slam isn't quite enough to KO, but of course Miltank gets the paralysis.
I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
Before fainting to a Focus Blast. Unfortunate. Thankfully, for some reason that only Arceus knows, Will does not use a full restore, basically letting his Gardevoir faint. What in the Aaron Boone was that? But let's be clear, I'm still reeling from that early Miltank loss. Jinx was supposed to be barbecue chicken for Whitney's ace, but now I have to find a different solution. Jinx naturally hits her first lovely kiss, so Giraffe Rig isn't the answer. And following a fake out, Delcatty quickly falls. So, Clefable, how are you feeling? To be clear, I will run this one back. Okay, we get the lovely kiss miss. We hit the Fire Blast, alrighty. This is gonna make me annoyed that I didn't switch last turn, isn't it? Yeah. Oh! Clefable! Getting it done, oh my god. Okay, that changes things. This is not over. We are back in it. Grumpig is bulky on the special side, so it requires some calm minds, but Clefable continues to pop off with Fire Blast to keep me in the fight. And then Thunder misses. And Body Slam crits. All those calm mind boosts gone in a flash. So it's B-Barrel and a dream. And somehow a flurry of charge beams with the help of some special attack boosts are just enough for this absolute legend to overcome the odds. And if you thought Confusion was going to trip up the beaver, then you are sorely mistaken. Ice Beam pierces the Mystic Bird for the improbable victory.
Whew, it's a good thing the fights to come won't take years off my life like that one, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
So, Koga, an RNG menace versus an RNG menace. Who will prevail? Looking to get off to a better start in this one, I choose B-Barrel as my lead. With double teams and surfs, my beaver silences the skunk. Now, did I anticipate Toxicroak hitting an 80 accuracy cross chop through 6 double teams? Not any more than I anticipated the Mavericks trading Luca. However, I have a Psychic Giraffe ready to swoop in and avenge B-Barrel. The unfortunate side effect though is that Venomoth drops in with a super effective Silver Wind that of course finds the 10% Omni boost. Honestly, Koga has rebounded well from an early deficit. Riding that momentum, he sets up a double team, leaving a pit forming in my stomach. But Licky Licky delivers, hitting and KOing with Flamethrower. I was not familiar with your game, Licky. I've been able to neutralize Swalot to this point, but this is not the case here. Amnesia's reduced Licky Licky's damage output to the point where the purple Pokemon Eater swallows her whole. Miltank, the floor is yours. Attract and a barrage of Body Slams work decently well, but Pain Split strikes back, and the potential of a full restore looms large. Realistically, I'm gonna need a crit at some point. I know it's not gonna KO, but I could crit. And I know a crit will KO. Paralysis honestly at this point would be annoying because we'll get the full restore. Oh, we got it actually, let's go. If there was anyone who was gonna do it, of course it was Miltank. More attract strats work against Crobat, but a Body Slam comes up just short of KOing Muck. And now Miltank is out of PP, so what's a guy to do? Anyone up for some Calm Minds? Maybe 4 of them? I Baton Pass into Clefable, Fire Blast, down to 1 HP, seriously? Never mind, it's all part of the plan. More or less. Okay, deep breaths. Bruno is obviously going to be Whitney's biggest test so far. If the team is going to do the impossible, every single Pokemon is going to need to dig deep and find within themselves the ability to operate at 110%. So, let's ride. I basically have to get, this has to be mobilized by love. Okay, alright, we've got RNG on our side. Paralysis here would be massive. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh! Oh! That was not what I was expecting. I'll rest in case it clicks it again. I'm not going to KO here unless I crit. Or maybe, like, that was a super low roll and that was super... Ah, wait. I don't know. This is so fraudulent. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Show me another paralysis, please. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Miltank is our fraudulent queen. I gotta say, like, the fact that we get to see Miltank pop off like this, but it's on my side, is beautiful. That's insane. Okay, we actually managed to take down Hitmontop. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. Hitmonlee. Okay, same thing. But this is so funny because, like, this is Whitney's Miltank. This is one of the most nefarious creatures ever. And we're doing the thing. We're just doing the thing. This could be huge. Oh my god. Dude. We've knocked out 2. Do it again. It's that simple. This is just ridiculous. I mean, this is insane. Oh my god. Please. Paralyze would be really nice. Okay, we did half. No process is fine. You can't get, too lucky. Oh my god. There's just no way. Oh, it's going for Bullet Punch here? Fine. That's like the one move I can take. Okay. This must KO. Oh. That hurts. Okay, no full restore though. Alright. Don't look now, but the cow has us in a spot where all I can say is wow. Hariyama prompts me to make a tough call, taking Miltank off the field for B-Barrel. I'd rather save my ace for Bruno's if possible. The cost of this play is the Beaver, who enters as Hariyama gets a good workout in. Leg day pays off for the big guy, forcing me to make another decision. I want to save Licky Licky for Lucario and Miltank for Machamp, so my choices are Clefable, Delcatty, and Girafarig. After some deliberation, I select Clefable for her relative bulk. Fire Blast knocks Hariyama down to yellow, and oh no, that burn procs Hariyama's ability, Guts. Well, there's really only one option. Go to my Giraffe and pray that a Psychic KOs. Clutch up in the paint, baby. Lucario, let's dance. Utilizing Delcatty as an eject button, Lucario foolishly drops his defenses. Is it enough for Licky Licky to KO though? I'm faster. Oh, or is this using counter? If it's using counter, that's so interesting. Oh. It used counter. I think I'd rather full restore than it use anything else. Iron Tail? I think Bruno has thrown. Oh my Arceus, Bruno has thrown. The big licker twists and turns Machamp down a little bit, takes a giant punch to the face, and survives. Oh, and her own tempo ability prevents the confusion. What a beast. I click Ice Beam in the hopes of avoiding full restore range as Champ knocks out Iron Tongue, and he's in a perfect HP range for Girafarig to clean up. Just one more trainer standing in my path to Lance. A trainer who would surely love how Whitney simply uses her favorites. Karen. Through the power of friendship, Clefable hits 3 straight Fire Blasts to knock out Weavile. The team is heating up early in this one, and we stay hot as Licky Licky burns Absol to a crisp. Spiritomb admittedly gets a little messy. I lose Licky Licky and Girafarig to the Ghost, so I'm left asking B-Barrel to find a range with Surf to KO. And well, she does quite a bit better than that. The Beaver and Miltank team up to take down Honchkrow, and with Houndoom hitting the field, it's Miltank against the world. Body Slam doesn't quite do enough to confidently two-shot, and the Demon Dog nastily plots to take me out with a boosted special attack on the next turn. I basically just need this to KO. I just need to hit whatever the range is, if there's a range. Oh my god, Miltank. Miltank! With male Umbreon as Karen's final Pokemon, Attract strats are back on the table. This fully healthy Ace Showdown is exactly what I was trying to get to this entire time. The challenge of this duel is that Umbreon loves setting up curses to buff his attack and defense, which is a great play. Props to Karen. Eventually, I find myself in a position where I should probably click Rest, but doing so would be a throw if Umbreon hits through Attract. Therefore, the best play might actually be to get off as many Body Slams as possible. Crit would probably KO. Oh my... There's no way! Miltank!
Did you think we'd be here? I know I didn't. We've now frauded our way through all 4 Elite Four members. And who's to say we can't do it just one more time?
Funnily enough, Lance's Salamence doesn't even require fraudulent gameplay. Just a simple tanking of a Dragon Claw into an Ice Beam to the jugular. Another Ice Beam stabs Dragonite for good chip damage as Lance's Ace uses Safeguard. I spend the next handful of turns burning Delcatty to a Draco Meteor to drop D-Knight's special attack, and setting up 6 Calm Minds with Girafarig. Baton passing the boosts back to Licky Licky, she swiftly sends Dragonite back to his Pokeball. You fool. You absolute fool, Lance. You greedy bastard. This is insane. This is obviously going to OHKO because I have +6 special attack. I was thinking about the whole Adef thing. Charizard has 4 special... Oh no, it has 3 special attacks in Dragon Claw. But I didn't get hit by Outrage. So I'm chilling, and I Thunderbolt. Uses the physical move. I doubt this does much. I also have a 7 level advantage on this thing, which is weird. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about right here. This is the good stuff. The fraudulent gameplay. So what's left? Gyarados and the crit on top of it is crazy. This is very similar to Garchomp, where it could either Waterfall or it could Dragon Dance. It could also T-Wave, but I'd imagine Gyarados is faster, so it probably won't. If it doesn't see KO with Waterfall, it could definitely Dragon Dance. If it goes for Waterfall, I'd probably live it unless it crits, but it could flinch. But I, of course, also have Thunderbolt. Lance, buddy. Find a new strategy. Find a new strategy, my guy. This is insane. Twice now. You had the opportunity to make things interesting and to totally shift the momentum of this fight, and both times you preferred to go for a stat boost. When I'm sitting here with +6 special attack and coverage moves out the wazoo. Altaria has Hyper Beam, Dragon Breath. The best thing that Lance could do would be set up Double Team. And of course, because Lance loves setting up, he sets up Double Team. Of course, as soon as I hit 1 Ice Beam, it's over. Okay. Double Team again. All right, listen, hey. Lance, it's technically the same strategy, but it's working for him now. It's no longer working for him. I have never witnessed a crazier run to the championship than this one. Whitney is HeartGold SoulSilver champion. I am astounded, astonished, agog. More words that start with A that are synonyms for those 3. That was, without a doubt, the most fun, chaotic, and most importantly, fraudulent run in Gym Leader Challenge history. A run that if you didn't see, you wouldn't believe. Where LeBron came up just short, by no fault of his own to be fair. Lamiltank finds herself along with the rest of this glorious team as champion of Pokemon HeartGold SoulSilver. Congratulations, Whitney. So far in this challenge, I am 15-0. Not a single loss. So Morty, the pressure is on. This team is pretty fun. Would I love to see a different Mon make the cut instead of 2 Gengars? Yeah. Although my bigger gripe is definitely this Mismagius set. Just what was Morty cooking? Regardless, the best part about this team is that we have 2 Pokemon with Destiny Bond, a move that can essentially act as a get-out-of-jail-free card at a moment's notice. Not to mention, despite the awful moveset overall, Mismagius has Perish Song. These moves will be at the heart of my strategies throughout this run. But this team has plenty more tricks up its sleeve, as we'll see right away against Will. The Ghostly Blimp has the Unburden ability, meaning his speed will double at the use of a consumable held item, in this case, his Citrus Berry. So, 2 substitutes bring him down to 50% HP, proccing the berry and putting Unburden online. Following his KO of Bronzong, he is now faster than the incoming Jinx. Let's break this down. While Drifblim likely doesn't OHKO with Shadow Ball, Jinx probably does see a KO with Blizzard, meaning I should just click Destiny Bond, right? Well, it's a bit more complicated than that. If Jinx does not see a KO range, then she will probably use Lovely Kiss, putting me to sleep and preventing me from using Destiny Bond's next turn. To play around this, I use Substitute as a pseudo-protect to scout Will's strategy here. Blizzard indeed sees a KO, so I confidently click Destiny Bond on the next turn to drag Jinx down with me. For Grumpig, Xatu, and Gardevoir, I utilize my type advantage, and for Slowbro, I have to give Perish Song a try. Absolute cinema. As we head into Koga, I'm quite excited about this matchup. Destiny Bond and Perish Song should be very effective into Swalot and Muck, making this fight significantly less annoying than usual. Drifblim is once again my lead of choice, being a perfect counter to Skuntank. By clicking Substitute, I cannot get Toxicked, and that's all Koga wants to click. Piece of cake. Maybe of the strawberry short variety. Being behind a sub as Crobat enters play puts me in a position to KO the bat with Drifblim as well. Gengar number 1, who does not know Destiny Bond, takes KOs on Koga's next 2, so it's down to just Swalot and Muck. Like I already said, we have the answers to these 2 problems. Mismagius Perish Song into Mean Look prevents Koga from swapping out the poison bag. That's right, Druko Cone Perish, baby. As I switch out Mismagius, Swalot's Perish count falls to 0. Muck sets up 2 whole minimizes, but Koga has made a crucial error. Perish Song cannot miss, so with a second Lullaby, we say goodnight to the second Elite Four member, and hello to the third. If we're being totally honest with one another, Bruno has no chance in this battle. Hitmontop has 0 moves that can touch Drifblim, so Bruno immediately has to switch him out. And he proceeds to click Swagger, which fails every time with Substitute up. Good work, buddy. Destiny Bond drags down Machamp and Hariyama, Focus Blast crits to KO Lucario, and it's pretty straightforward from here. What is not straightforward, however, is how I'm going to overcome a Dark-type Master with a bunch of Ghosts, which is why I'm switching up my lead. Fake out for some chippage, and Brick Break gets us on the board, but Spiritomb shifts the momentum. Gengar number 2 switches in on Curse, so I have to switch him right back out. And then he comes in on a second Curse, so I have to burn my first Destiny Bond to drag down Absol. Umbreon is coming in basically no matter what, so I may as well go with my best fighting type, Gengar number 1. And my guy hits not just 1, but 2 Focus Blasts to knock out Umbreon. And he hits a third to help out Drifblim against Honchkrow. Now it's just 1 more Destiny Bond click, and we're on our way to Lance. Lance leads with Ments. I go Dusknoir. Here's the play. I am going to click Will-O-Wisp. Now, is it kind of a stupid click? Yeah. If I start missing Will-O-Wisps, I will quite simply just reset the fight. But the idea here is because of Shadow Claw, which definitely just crit me, which is bad, a lot of my mons are in rough shape. Is there any chance that I live another Shadow Claw? It just did 122 damage. Maybe if it low rolls, I think we might have to reset though. I went Dragon Claw this time. Yeah, definitely just KO with that. Oh my god, Dusknoir! And hit the Will-O-Wisp! Let's go. That's really funny. Okay, so the reason I wanted to Will-O-Wisp was because by clicking Will-O-Wisp there, now it's basically forced into clicking Flamethrower, I want to say. But most importantly, I was just worried that Dragon Claw was going to 2-shot Sableye, and also we don't get intimidated now with Sableye. So it was first, is there a way to get Sableye in without getting intimidated? And now it's beyond that, is there a way for me to live a hit? Now, if I get burned here, that's bad. And that might force a rematch. We'll see. Beautiful. And honestly, I think that sort of indicates my decision to play it how I played it, because had that been one of the physical moves, that would have done more than half, probably, especially because Dragon Claw would be stab. With Ments out of the way, Sableye can rest, notching a special attack drop on D-Knight as he does. Gengar number 1 is able to 1v1 thanks to this drop, and here comes Garchomp. I don't think it makes sense switching here because anybody who comes in is cooked. I'm going to click Hypnosis. If I hit the Hypnosis, I would feel like this is going to go my way. If I miss, we're in an awkward position, but not ridiculously bad. Okay, 0 for 2 on Hypnosis is unfortunate. Huh. Not good. Not ideal. Why is that not ideal? Because Mismagius is not only a bad matchup, but I also want to save him for Perish Song in the endgame. So KOing Garchomp costs me both of my Gengars, meaning at this point, it's Mismagius, Drifblim, and a Dream. Drifblim's gonna bait Gyarados. Or Charizard. That makes no sense. That's not good, because the hope was Gyarados would come in, I would take a hit, Thunderbolt for the Oko. This is gonna be close. It's gonna be really close. Burn would suck. This is also awkward because that's not gonna proc the Citrus Berry, so I'm still slower on the next turn. But I will say this. That's good damage. Oh! Let's go. So I still have yet to proc Unburden, right? And that's not great. If this is not Gyarados, we are in trouble. Okay, so if I don't think it's going to see KO with Waterfall or Ice Fang. I'm slower, so it's not going to click Thunder Wave. Or maybe I am I doubt I'm faster. If it doesn't see KO, it could click Dragon Dance. If it does see KO, I'm probably dodging a crit, but if I dodge the crit, Thunderbolt will KO. I'm slower. It T-Waved. Oh! Okay. Okay. Please KO. Please, I'm begging you to KO. Let's go, Drifblim. Let's go. With Drifblim still in the back, Miss Magius can confidently use Perish Song to clinch victory. That is a perfect 20-0 record and our 4th straight gym leader in the Hall of Fame. Destiny Bond and Perish Song turned out to be just as broken as advertised, and shout out to Sableye for being such a great niche option to counter my 2 toughest lead matchups in Weavile and Salamence. Everyone got their chance to shine, and that's a beautiful thing. Congratulations to Morty on becoming the 4th gym leader in this challenge to become champion of the Indigo League.
20-0, and I'm going for 21. Let's see who's up next.
Chuck's team is, not great. How is this supposed to beat Will? How? Medicham is the only decent matchup into his team, and he doesn't have what it takes to solo the entire thing. Tirelessly working to find a strategy that could maybe, possibly, in some universe, overcome this immense challenge, I found one. Just one line. Hitmonchan, it's time to lock in. The goal? For him to embrace his inner Miltank and fraud this Bronzong 1v1. But Hitmonchan has double team. Bronzong loves using Reflect, loves using Gravity. You know, I think it's a pretty decent setup here. I'm thinking I can live 2 Psychics, so if I get hit once, we just start going all out on the attacks. There's the Gravity. We're going to get 3 double teams off before Bronzong even attempts to attack me. It's a very, very, very consistent strategy. As you can tell, that's not good. That's not good. Okay, I was correct. We do live 1. Nah, let's swagger. +3 evasion. Bronzong is now confused, and Bronzong hits itself in confusion. All right, it's Focus Punch time. Let's run it. That's quick. That was really quick. That was really quick. Okay. Okay. Well, that was a magnificent failure. Medicham does crit a high jump kick to beat the Bronzong, but I'm already so unbelievably behind in this fight. Medi continues to clutch up against Xatu, but with Reflect still up for another turn, Thunder Punch just doesn't do that much. Primeape manages to make this very interesting, finishing off the Jotonian Bird and Grumpig, and shipping Gardevoir to set up a huge Hitmonlee high jump kick KO. And here's where things go a bit off the rails. I have 3 Pokemon left. Hitmonlee, who's currently in battle, Breloom, and Poliwrath. The biggest question is, who do I need for Slowbro? Breloom would seem like a great answer, except he doesn't have a Grass-type move. Poliwrath's 2 attacks are both resisted by Slowbro, and Hitmonlee's are also resisted. But at least he has Bulk Up, I guess? No matter what I do here, I'm probably cooked because Slowbro is going to eat me alive. But the best play I could make, in my opinion, would be trying to save Hitmonlee and Breloom for Will's final Pokemon. So I eventually decide to send a Poliwrath on what turns out to be Lovely Kiss, and of course it hits. Dream Eater tears me a new one, so I'm in total scramble mode. I try praying for a Blizzard miss, but it was just not meant to be. So after all that, I'm down to the original situation. Hitmonlee versus Jinx. And of course, after all of that, I outspeed. Well, it's just a matter of time before the end of this battle, and the end of my 20 battle win streak. So, did I throw? Honestly, only kinda sorta. Sure, I should have kept Hitmonlee in to KO the Jinx, because I would have had 3 months fully healthy for Slowbro. However, as soon as Slowbro started setting up curses, I'd be done for anyways. All of my Mons take super effective damage from the Hermit Crab, and I'd only have one move, Breloom's inaccurate Stone Edge, to deal even neutral damage. So while I did deviate from the best possible line when I switched out Hitmonlee, I have good reason to believe that I was destined to lose no matter what. I would go on to try this fight about a dozen times, and I would continue to get absolutely fried. In fact, I was only able to successfully fraud Bronzong with Hitmonchan once, And even then, I wiped to Gardevoir with Slowbro and Jinx still in the back.
I'll be honest, I do feel like I failed the team by not bringing that first attempt as far as it could possibly go. And that feeling only got worse as each successive attempt failed to even get back to Jinx, let alone Slowbro.
But the fact of the matter is that with this team into a squad full of Psychic types, I don't know what else Chuck could have expected. Not a single special move, only one Mon with a neutral type matchup into Psychic, and a team that just generally lacks the bulk to take super effective hits.
Ultimately, and it pains me to say this given my 20-0 record coming into this run, Chuck does not have what it takes to become Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver champion.
Well, I guess the look I'm best known for is Blue Steel.
It's time to get things back on track, and Jasmine's a pretty good candidate to do so. Steel is the best defensive type in the game and has a great matchup into Lance specifically.
I will say though, this team offensively leaves a lot to be desired. With the majority of my most powerful attacks being inaccurate, it will be tough to find a truly consistent line. The most consistent line I may have offensively is using Lock-On plus Zap Cannon from Magnezone, but that takes 2 turns to set up. On the bright side, Jasmine has a fantastic variety of secondary types, and Metagross with Explosion has the potential to be used in a similar way to Morty's Destiny Bonders.
And all I'm gonna say is this: if you give me Empoleon, I'm not losing.
My Penguin goes 2 for 3 on Hydro Pumps against Bronzong, knocking out Will's lead with little issue, and he also chips Gardevoir for Metagross to finish off. Now, we go boom. Grumpig ends up being a thorn in my side here with Confuse Ray, highlighting another one of this team's flaws. Everyone is pretty slow. I bet we get confused through the Signal Beam this time and then hit ourselves in. Well, it looks like it's up to Magnezone to solo the rest of the way. Mercifully, Grumpig uses Psychic twice instead of Confuse Ray, letting me knock her out, and a clutch Lovely Kiss miss sets me up for another one. As I stare down Slowbro, Big Zone has just 34 HP remaining. Zap Cannon will probably OHKO, but if Bro doesn't see a Body Slam or Psychic KO, which is likely by the way, she could go for Amnesia, buffing her special defense enough to survive Zap Cannon. So instead of going for Lock-On first, I'm going gambling. Did I do it? Did I save myself from the embarrassment of that loss? I did. I'm very happy with the win, but some of Jasmine's weaknesses are already starting to reveal themselves to be worth monitoring. Whether any of these flaws will be fatal though, is yet to be seen. And we're certainly unlikely to find out against Koga because no team has had a better defensive type matchup into the Ninja. For example, Skuntank can't do anything but click Dig into Steelix, so after setting up Stealth Rocks, I pull the rug out from under my opponent, swapping in Skarmory. And all Koga can do is click the giant red button. Skarmory proceeds to dodge a Cross Chop, letting her KO Toxicroak. Magnezone blasts the next 3 Pokemon with Zap Cannon, Metagross booms on Swalot, and now we face our greatest challenger, Bruno. I'd be lying if I said I was confident heading into this one. Slow teams with inconsistent offense have struggled generally in this challenge, especially into poor type matchups. But that doesn't mean I won't try my absolute hardest. Hypnosis and Dream Eater works wonders on Hitmontop, primarily because despite being able to hit me with Earthquake, Bruno only clicks the move once, instead repeatedly opting for counter. Strategies. Bruno has them, doesn't mean they're good. A Swagger means I have to switch out against Hitmonlee and I go to Steelix, who survives a close combat on yellow HP to hit a huge Iron Tail for the OHKO. Bruno's final Hitmon does claim Steelix, and then Bruno implements another strategy. Click Substitute every turn until fainting. Nice. Now, remember how I said that No Guard is a very scary ability on Machamp? Well, it has one drawback. Every attack that I use will also hit the superpower Pokemon. Therefore, this is the easiest Hydro Pump of my life. More Hydro Pumps wash away Hariyama, and it's boom time, baby. I didn't expect Jasmine to beat Bruno on her first try, but it honestly wasn't even that close. Magnezone didn't even enter the battle. Bro rode the bench like Jaleel Okafor. Karen goes similarly to the first 2 matchups. Jasmine's defensive typing is just too strong into Weavile, Honchkrow, Absol, and Spiritomb. Houndoom, though, is the obvious concern. Metagross goes down to pave the way for a free Empoleon switch-in, and of course my goat hits a huge Hydro Pump for the KO. Beautiful. Not gonna lie though, Umbreon once again is a problem. I throw my entire team at this guy, but he's just not budging. Curses, Confuse Rays, Paybacks, everything is going wild. In the end, it comes down to Empoleon, my final Pokemon, out of Hydro Pumps from going too hard in this fight. It's at +6 defense though. We just hit it. Let's go. Let's go. What did I say? If you give me Empoleon, I am not losing. And Lance is about to learn this lesson too. Big Penguin shrugs off Salamance's flamethrower and puts the dragon through the ringer. Garchomp requires a bit more cooking, pivoting through Skarmory to get Bronzong in on Outrage, but with a Hypnosis, Empoleon can come back in as the Chomp slumbers, setting up a free Blizzard Oko. We have an early lead as Lance chooses Gyarados. Predicting Thunderwave, I go to Steelix. I am reading Lance like a book, and now I just have to dodge, flinch, and or crit once out of 2 tries to get a Stone Edge off. Okay, it's water falling. This is ideal. I'd rather Gyarados take me out, have me miss every single Stone Edge, than set up even a single Dragon Dance. Fine. Do it again. Yes. Because what I want to do from here is I want to go to Magnezone and goes lock on Zap Cannon. That's a crit. Fine. Fine. You know what? It's fine. I may have missed Stone Edge anyways. I can just lock on with Magnezone after Gyarados Dragon Dances, and as long as I don't get crit and flinched here, we'll be right back on track. Okay, if we don't flinch, we're fine. If we flinch, it's looking a little rough. Where we get? That was crit. Well, now I'm in trouble. I think it's worth trying. If Magnezone would have lived non-crit, I think this is worth trying. Back-to-back flinches. Back-to-back flinches. And a crit. Okay. Hey, Bronzong hit it when we needed it. I think we just have to hope for Sleep Turn. This is Sleep Turn number 1. And if I can get back above half health, then we could use Hypnosis again. That's not terrible. If I get one more in, we get one more in here, we should be back up above half. Now, I am a bit concerned about a full restore, especially given the fact that we already have this asleep. This is a full restore hit. This is a full restore. We're back to 108. We live this. Full restore. Okay, we're going to get 2 chances to hit another Hypnosis. We for sure get 2 chances. Yes. Okay, that's huge. That is so incredibly massive. I'd rather just hope it stays asleep than go for the Hypnosis. Yes. Bronzong. This is incredible. We probably live 2. Okay. You know what, though? We do have this really low on HP. The flinch is fine. Just don't crit, don't flinch. Which is exactly what has happened many times. Okay. So where do we go from here? Gyarados outspeeds everyone I have left, and Lance still has Dragonite, Altaria, and worst of all, Charizard. I know I'll have to save Empoleon for as long as I can, so Skarmory it is. Waterfall crits again, but Skarmory survives and lands the massive KO. We boom on Charizard, and now it's Empoleon and a dream. Not a single Fire Blast has been missed by the AI in this entire challenge. Not a single one. Yeah, it's over. Okay, we'll see. I mean, yeah, now it's over. I don't have enough Blizzards. I've run out of Blizzards. This is such a tough decision. Because you could point to hitting Blizzards. Knowing that would have OHKO'd makes me so upset, actually. I think I have to run it back. I think I have to. Because if I hit enough Blizzards, we're fine, you know? Okay, you know, like, listen, if it's not gonna click Dragon Breath or Hyper Beam, it gives me a fighting chance. Not that this is gonna do much damage, right? This is resisted. Oh, that's such a brutal amount of damage. Perish Song. Ooh. I basically have to hit this one and the next. Now hit 2 through Double Team. Oh! Jasmine's the champion.
Big Penguin! Big Penguin delivers again. Oh. Big Penguin to the Hall of Fame once again. Ultimately, this guy's ability to hit just about every low accuracy move when I needed him to was enough to overcome Jasmine's team building flaws. Shout out to Magnezone for those zap cannons and Metagross for those explosions as well. And just like that, we're right back on track. Congratulations to Jasmine for becoming the 5th gym leader in the Johto Gym Leader Challenge to become champion. Before I took a look at the Elite Four rosters, and before I took a deep dive into Price's team, I assumed he would be a lock for the Hall of Fame. Snow Warning into Snow Cloak and guaranteed hit Blizzards can be a dominant strategy, as I've seen in the past, and his matchup into Lance, the strongest trainer here, is just too potent. Through Will and Koga, this is absolutely looking like the case. Mamoswine downs 4 of Will's Mons, and the final 2 only take a couple of turns from Abomasnow to finish. And Mamoswine wreaks havoc once again against Koga's poison types, only requiring a bit of help from some 100% accurate Blizzards on Crobat and Venomoth. However, taking a second look at the Winter Trainer's team, he has a few issues that leave him susceptible to Bruno. Primarily, his Frostlass has a very questionable set. Ice Shard is a pretty tough move to have on a very fast Pokemon who probably doesn't need the priority. Blizzard is great, but I only have 5 of them. Once they're gone, Frostlass will basically be useless. And outside of Frostlass, everyone is taking super effective damage from every single one of Bruno's Pokemon. With little counterplay, this is not going to be easy. However, Bruno was just as likely to beat Whitney and Jasmine. And last I checked, the man has still yet to win today. So why can't Price keep the trend going? Opening with Abomasnow, I get permanent Hail Up immediately. Hitmontop always sees a close combat KO into the big fella, presenting a free switch to Frostlass. Now the only move Hitmontop can use is Earthquake, because I'm immune to his other 3 moves. So back to Abomasnow I go. Repeating this process a number of times lets the Hail Chip whittle down Hitmontop's HP, eventually presenting Frostlass with the opportunity to KO with Blizzard. Lucario is Bruno's choice to get back into this fight, and it's a good one. Nobody on my team has a good matchup into the Aura Pokemon, but I do know that Mamoswine's Earthquake is my best bet. I try to avoid anyone fainting here, but in the end, Abomasnow going down is required to proceed. Naturally, despite Iron Tail's 75 accuracy and Mamoswine's Snow Cloak, Lucario knocks my Woolly Mammoth down to red HP, but he does indeed survive. Earthquake KOs, but I'm not gonna lie, my team's in rough shape. I really have no choice but to pray Earthquake one-taps Hitmonlee, and it does, though I'm not confident the same is true against Hitmonchan. I end up sacrificing Glalie and Walrein as I fish for a close combat defense drop, and finally find one, allowing Mamoswine to re-enter for the KO. All of a sudden, I see the winning path clear before me. Dugong's Sheer Cold will always OHKO Machamp because of no guard, so it basically comes down to whether Mamoswine and Frostlass have what it takes to defeat Hariyama. Good damage from Earthquake puts me in a decent position, and now it's up to Frostlass. I know I was trashing her moveset earlier, but I'm utilizing it to its fullest potential here. The stacking effects of Attract and Confuse Ray prevent Hariyama from hitting me, freeing Frostlass up to fire off a KOing Blizzard. Last but not least, Dugong hits the Sheer Cold, and the demon is once again down. As I step into Karen's room, I can't help but feel like I've been here before. A team with an obvious flaw into Bruno getting past him and riding that wave to the championship. I've done it a couple times already, and I'm smelling it happening once more. Mamoswine is my best counter for Weavile given the awkward typing into my team, and while Low Kick is super scary to say the least, we're so fine. Mamo knocks down the Stone Edge to knock out Karen's opener. Following a dive takedown of Houndoom, the team just starts frauding left and right. Glalie lands Blizzard Freezes on not 1, but 2 foes, and then Dugong rejoins the fight to hit a cold OHKO move on Umbreon. Unironically, the cleanest Umbreon we've had all challenge long. 1 Blizzard later, and I can hear Lance shivering in the next room. The plan is simple. By leading with Abomasnow, I get the permanent hail required to put in work. Something tells me Frostlass specifically is about to pop off. Where have I seen that before? As anticipated, Charizard hits the field early in this one to try throwing me off, but I'm ready. I sacrifice Glalie to give Walrein a clean switch, and it's the Walrus's time to shine. I am, again, just slightly concerned of the Full Restore. Full Restore could be a little annoying. That's a lot of damage. Bro, 3 freezes. 3 freezes, baby. That's 3 of them. So we heal up, obviously, then we take burn. So this is going to be a Full Restore, but I mean, look how much damage I just did with Blizzard last turn. Right? This is 2-shotting. And I mean, Flamethrower could crit, right? But we're clearly doing enough damage for Frostlass to come in for cleanup. So there's no shot. There's no way. There's just no way. Right, we just took out the biggest threat. I think we're seeing D-Dance here. I'm gonna Blizzard again. Okay. I mean, I definitely lived that. Flinch would be annoying? Wow, okay. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. To me right there, the play is for him is to 1000% set up Dragon Dances. Please don't be a crit. That is a crit. Wall Rain! Freezes in one fight. I think that's 3 straight freezes on Blizzard. That's insane. Sure, he could have got the first turn wake up, but he wasn't KOing me, and if he Dragon Danced, that was it too. At this point, Lance can only sit and watch as his dragons struggle to fight their way out of the biggest blizzard he's ever seen. Frostlass takes the final 3 KOs, and for the 6th time in this challenge, we are in the Hall of Fame. For the 2nd straight Gym Leader challenge, an Ice-type Gym Leader with Snow Warning Abomasnow and Blizzard Frostlass storms through the Elite Four and into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations on defeating the Indigo League, Price.
The Mother of Dragons!
6 Gym Leaders have already become champion today, far and away a record for the Gym Leader Challenge. And somehow, the best team hasn't even stepped foot on the battlefield yet. The Mother of Dragons has a menacing team to say the least. Just look at this Gyarados. Dragon Dance, Waterfall, and Earthquake, this might be too free. Will is Gyarados' first victim. 5 Dragon Dances let the Sea Dragon knock out Bronzong, Grumpig, Gardevoir, and Jinx. But thanks to Gardevoir tracing Intimidate, I come up just short of KOing Slowbro. No matter, because Dragonair has this one in the bag. A nice little crit closes out a Will W for the final time today. Quickly, I do have to shout out Will for being the toughest first Elite Four member I've encountered yet. It's no coincidence he's the only trainer who's beaten me so far in this video, and he has earned my respect. Koga is a similarly quick fight. This time, Aerodactyl is the one to get the party started, earthquaking Skuntank and Toxicroak into the ground, and Dragonair takes her 3rd KO of the E4 on Venomoth despite the Poison Moth proccing his Silverwind Omni Boost. And now, I present to you once again a Gyarados Dragon Dance sweep. One that continues all the way through Bruno, and even Karen's first 2 Pokemon. 11 straight knockouts for the big fish. A triple team of Dragonair, Charizard, and Aerodactyl smothers Spiritomb, and then Kingdra enters the fray for the first time this run to hit a quick Hydro Pump on Umbreon. And then she gets crit. Karen couldn't stand to see a Seahorse win, I guess. But with Aerodactyl still healthy, Houndoom and Absol take their seats back on the bench, clinching our 7th showdown with Lance. I won't lie, he does have the superior team of dragons, but I have the superior mind. Salamence has Intimidate, which would be annoying for Aerodactyl, my best answer to the pseudo-legendary. So I actually start with Dragonair. 1 Dragonclaw takes her out, but now Aerodactyl gets in for free without his attack being dropped. 2 Rock Slides get the job done, baiting out Gyarados. Unfortunately, this spells the end for Aerodactyl. This is a really tough matchup. Waterfall certainly is going to KO me. I think I just have to Thunderfang before going down. I know it's not ideal, especially because Aerodactyl would be really good for Dragonite, but I do have Kingdra for Dragonite. That's a very, very good Arrow? We pull the rare Thunderfang flinch. Don't heal. Let's go. Okay. That changes the outcomes significantly. Now we're cooking with gas. Gyarados and Charizard team up to handle Garchomp, Claire's Zard wins the mirror match against Lance's, and her Dragonite takes it from here, winning a speed tie against Lance's iconic ace to secure the 7th and final Hall of Fame entry of the video. This run really just goes to show the power of setup sweepers, especially against AI-controlled opponents. All it takes is finding the right window to set up, and you're home free. The student has officially become the master. Claire, congratulations on becoming Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver champion. Now, this is normally where this video would end. 7 gym leaders have become champion, the highest honor for any Pokemon trainer. However, there's still 1 trainer left who has a claim to the throne. That's right, baby. We're fighting red. This team is one of the best any in-game trainer has had in the history of the franchise, and all 7 leaders who beat Lance will have the opportunity to defeat the most iconic trainer in Pokemon history. Each one of these 6 is a massive threat, so every team is going to have to bring its A game. Beginning with Falkner, we remember his hyper-offensive strategies well, but a smaller strategy I used was Staraptor close combating or Brave Birding for a KO, and then U-turning out before the enemy could respond, thus opening the door for Staraptor to return later. For this battle, I've built my entire plan around that strategy. Pikachu wilts quickly in the face of CC, but Lapras is a bit more defensive. So I U-turn into Pelipper, do some more chippage with Hidden Power fighting, and after Big Toilet faints, Staraptor picks up his second KO. I run back the same strategy against Snorlax, this time with Noctowl, and would you believe it? A third victim. I U-turn on Blastoise as well, but a full restore leads me to taking the KO with Swellow instead. It looks like this is going to come down to Pidgeot's ability to clutch up. Charizard Flare Blitz crits, but the recoil damage takes it out. Insane. One more Brave Bird and Falkner. Falkner has defeated Red. 25 years of slander. 25 years of being doubted time and again by just about every single child who has explored the Johto region. And now, Falkner stands before you as arguably the greatest trainer in all the land. How about that? Speaking of underdog stories, Bugsy's has one more chapter. Yanmega takes the opening KO on Pikachu this time, immediately baiting in Charizard. This guy is such a problem for Bugsy's team. Unlike Lance's Charizard, on whom Yanmega had a 7-level advantage, Red's is the same level as my Dragonfly. So my confidence in an Ancient Power Oko is about the same amount of confidence I have in Kyle Kuzma contributing to another NBA championship. My goal will be to get as many turns of Hail Chip in as I can, hopefully KOing without a full restore being used. Shedinja works decently here as a way of getting an extra turn of Chip, and now Yanmega doesn't quite KO with Ancient Power, but does get the assist from the Hail. My switch in choice is obvious here, as Heracross always baits in Lapras for a quick CC Oko. She should be able to do the same to Snorlax, so it's pincer time against Blastoise. It's too free. Heracross fulfills the close combat prophecy, and I'm honestly in a much better situation than I anticipated. Venusaur's moveset of Frenzy Plant, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, and Sleep Powder does basically nothing to Scizor, so that's that. Back-to-back clean victories. But if there's anyone who prefers a messy win to a clean one, it's Whitney. For the purposes of pathing, I lead with Licky Licky. The only potential fast KO I have on Pikachu is Miltank, but I'd rather bait Blastoise second than Lapras. Why? Because now it's Miltank time, baby. Attract, Focus Blast Miss, full restore into Body Slam Paralysis. Miltank is once again cooking. The start to the Venusaur 1v1 doesn't go great, forcing me to rest. But maybe I can get some good Sleep Talk luck? We're playing the odds. Okay, we get Body Slam, can we pull a Paralysis? That'd be huge. Yes! Venusaur does unfortunately end up getting the best of my cow, so let's take a moment to pour one out for Miltank, to an absolute real one. Now, bear with me. With Venusaur being paralyzed, I decided to implement a very risky strategy that I didn't want to have to go to this early. Delcatty comes in for free, and my goal is to set up as many Calm Minds as possible and Baton Pass out into another Mon, probably Girafarig. The risk, of course, is that Venusaur could keep hitting through Paralysis and just KO me, but this doesn't happen. Eventually, I find myself at 15 HP following some Hail Chip, and it's decision time. If I Baton Pass to Girafarig here, there's a chance she'll take too much damage to successfully solo Snorlax. However, Delcatty's only attacking move is Fake Out. Well, kind of. Assist is a move that lets the user use a random move known by any of the player's party Pokemon. So I could conceivably roll an attack that would KO. If I fail, Hail Chip will leave me at 1 HP, so I'm not 100% feigning here. I'm so behind in this fight and need a big momentum shift, so here we go. And Delcatty delivers. Baton Pass into Girafarig shows that Blizzard is doing nothing, but Girafarig's Psychic doesn't quite KO, and now I'm in the yellow. With a full restore coming, I may just have a chance. This is not ideal for me. What this kind of sets up, what I think this sets up is I am going to have to Baton Pass on this turn on the crunch. Did we crit? Oh my god. Give it up for Girafarig. I think the most important thing here is that we maintain our boosts. Okay, Brine is very nice for me. That was probably the best move it could have clicked. And of course, it crits. Okay. I kind of have to hit Thunder here. I am faster. Okay, and we hit Thunder. Now, it's not over, all right? Charizard is still left. Because with we're +4, neutral always hits with recoil from Flare Blitz. Now, again, I have to live this, which I don't. Okay. So it didn't really matter what I ended up clicking. If we see Air Slash, we're going to have to hit through. It is Air Slash. I was worried about that. Okay. All right, now, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's not like this is the most powerful attacker in the world. Yeah. Yes. Whitney has managed to fraud her way through the now 6 best trainers in the region. What more can you say? Speaking of fraudulent gameplay, Destiny Bond is back on the menu. Morty's signature strategy looks just as potent as ever in this matchup. Blastoise and Charizard are emerging as Red's greatest threats, so I'm aiming to save my D-Bonds until then. For now, Sableye Fake Out and Sucker Punch knocks out Pikachu, and the Darkness Pokemon feints to let Gengar number 2 hit the field safely. Substitute into Sleep Powder works great, but then... Oh! Little Switch AI. Okay. How about that? The unexpected switch leads me to burn my first Destiny Bond, but overall, I'm still feeling good. Gengar number 1 comes in next to hit a Focus Blast, but missing the second one costs him. Thankfully, he does do enough for Drifblim's Thunderbolt to pick him up. A Blastoise Blizzard procs the Blimp's Citrus Berry and by extension, Unburden. So that's another KO. A pretty big one at that because I've saved my second Destiny Bond for Charizard. And now we have executed the Perish Trap to perfection. 4-0 against Red. Jasmine, let's go for 5-0, shall we? I have to get a bit more creative with this one, primarily because of Charizard. So rather than my classic hyper-offensive lead to knock out Pikachu quickly, I go with Steelix to set Stealth Rocks. These will help a ton against the Fire Dragon. Also, since I'd rather use Steelix against Red's bigger threats, I click Roar. That's right, Roar. Snorlax is the random switch-in, which is not too bad. Iron Tail's some solid chip. Enough, in fact, to position Metagross well for the knockout. And here comes Big Zard. Metagross's job is not done just yet, so I go hard into Empoleon on Flare Blitz, shrug it off, and thanks to the Stealth Rock chip, swiftly wash away Red's Fire Starter. Metagross comes back in to handle Pikachu and explosively clock out, Big Zone's Lock-On plus Zap Cannon electrocutes Lapras, and we're staring down Venusaur in the endgame once again. As we saw earlier with Scizor, the Amphibian has nothing for Steel types, so Skarmory hits an Air Slash to cap off yet another win over Red. Now here's a fun little thing. We've obviously been fighting Red in Permanent Hail, and I would argue it's been more beneficial for me overall, despite 3 of Red's Pokemon having Blizzard. So if I've already been able to utilize Hail with the assortment of teams so far, I can only imagine what I'm going to be able to do with Price's team. Exhibit A. Oh, this is going to be fun. Like, Body Slam's not going to put this into full restore range. We could para. It's really just too free. Despite taking a Giga Drain to the face, my Walrus successfully 1v1s Venusaur. Admittedly, Blastoise continues to bug me, so I decide to bug him right back. Utilizing Dugong as well as Frostlass Attract and Confuse Ray, I'm able to stall enough Hail Chip turns for Mamoswine to send the turtle back to the ocean. A Bomb Snow easily counters Lapras, and Mamoswine hits the field again to complete the mission. Alright Claire, 7-0 is on the table. You got me? Aerodactyl gets the party started, knocking down Pikachu and most of Lapras's HP bar before exiting stage left. Gyarados is next up, and I use one Dragon Dance to play around full restore range and to help in her quest for Sweepage. We Waterfall, which I imagine is a 2-shot. We of course have the flinch chance, and honestly, unless Snorlax clicks Giga Impact, I bet we are living a hit. Okay, perfect. That did just over half, so I'm glad I set up the Dragon Dance. That was honestly primarily to KO Lapras. And as you see, there's Blizzard. We live. Okay, I hit the first one. Does this KO? With Hail Chip, it does. Wow. I mean, we're barely escaping this one, huh? Dragonair proceeds to survive on red HP to hit a massive Thunder Wave, clearing the way for Kingdra to score back-to-back KOs. It's now down to just Blastoise. Kingdra and Charizard fight valiantly, but ultimately, this is going to come down to a Dragonite 1v1. Past Drew, the floor is yours. I mean, if this heals back to full, I want to click Thunder. If this doesn't, I want to click Dragon Breath, but I think there's a really good chance he heals back to full. That might be the first time in this entire Johto Gym Leader Challenge that the AI has gone to full restores. I do hit the Thunder. Okay, I click Dragon Breath here because it always hits. Oh, you know you don't! 3, 3 full restores. If this paralyzes, maybe I have a chance, but that might be it. That might be it. Hold on. This is not over. I am now faster. So I don't have to live a blizzard unless I don't KO. I feel good. Yes! All right, come on, man. Huh? Is it out of blizzards? Did I accidentally PP stall it out of blizzards? I might have. Okay, you've used 3 full restores. Do you have a 4th full restore? Because if so, I want to click Thunder again. If he doesn't heal, the Hail Chip takes him out. If he does heal, I need to click Thunder. All right, 4 full restores. 4 of them. All used on Blastoise. That's, and I missed Thunder. Flash Cannon. That is technically the worst move it could click, and it's not even that bad for me. That's not bad. Oh, Citrus Berry. Okay, Citrus Berry. I'm begging you to hit this Thunder. Again, that's technically the worst move it could click, because Hydro Cannon might do more damage, but I am gonna then proc a recharge turn. Okay. All right. I think that's going to more or less secure it. Yeah. I think we did it. Let's go, baby. Claire defeats Red. So, in by far the most chaotic gym leader challenge yet, we have found 7 trainers who have what it takes to become Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver champion. But not just that, they're also winners over arguably the greatest trainer of all time. Congratulations to Faulkner, Bugsy, Whitney, Morty, Jasmine, Price, and Claire. With 7 of the best built gym leader rematch teams I've seen, you are all very worthy champions. And Chuck, well, you better get back in the gym, buddy. If you have any thoughts on how I played these battles, please let me know in the comments. I'm sure there are different strategies I could have used or lines I didn't see, and I'd absolutely love to hear from you on that, or anything really. I had an absolute blast with this challenge, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, that really makes me so happy. I have a lot more videos on the way, including more Gym Leader Challenge iterations, so stay tuned and please consider subscribing. I am super excited about what's coming next, and I'd love to have you along for the ride. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.